I have with me the Dean of the African Diplomatic Corps in Canberra, His Excellency Molosiwa Selepeng. And thank you very much, High Commissioner, for your time in speaking to us today. What I wanted to ask you is this. Unfortunately, you're coming to the end of your term in Australia. What is your view of the state of Australia-Africa relations, given the 12 years or so you've spent in Australia? So you're the most experienced person here to talk about long-term Australian relationships.
Thank you, Roger. Since my coming to Australia some 12 years ago, I've personally witnessed an awareness of what Africa has to offer in terms of collaboration with Australia, because the conception of many is that Africa is always the recipient of aid or recipient of whatever from other countries. Now, I want to state categorically clear that Africa has got a lot to offer, whether it's in the field of education, the professionals, such as yourselves, the legal, we have a lot to offer, and I've seen it happening here. Now, the difference is that we don't have the publicity machinery in terms of the media to say what Africa is doing, what Africa has done. I mean, for example, this morning we were treated to the success story of Professor Ramal Adnan of Morocco, what he has produced with very little resources, but it's got such high impact in the scientific world. And I'm saying that this can also happen across sectors. And I've seen it during my presence of the past 12 years, because people know very little about Africa here in Australia. They think that it's a country, when in fact it's a continent of 54 countries, and they have to learn that. And it is our challenge. It is the challenge of us Africans in this country to bring that to the attention of Australians. We have a lot to offer. It's an exchange of experiences, exchange of expertise, and the fact that you yourselves, you are one of those that have been very energetic in engendering that relationship, that you should not be despondent, you should not be discouraged by the challenges that you are facing here, because just like a seed of the cedar tree, it grows, from a very small, insignificant thing up to the level and to the knowledge, as we are talking about knowledge and action of people, to something very big. So I'm living with confidence that you'll continue in that effort and you will succeed.
Thank you for those kind words, Your Excellency. And I can say that with your help and your leadership, the Business Council and the AAUN, we've actually gone steps forward, as we can see in this conference today. So thank you very much. And of course, when you talk about the positive things coming from Africa, Botswana, the country from which you represent here, is itself a model of transparency and good governance in Africa.
We have done the bit we can. Again, as we say, good things don't get publicized. It's only the negatives that you always hear about, about Africa. But there's a lot of positive things that are happening, such as the example you have just made about Botswana. And to reciprocate, it's the same thing about Mauritius. I first went to Mauritius in 1984. Today, Mauritius is such a powerful and well-known country, small as it is. And I'm positive to say that the trajectory of Mauritius development is such that in 10-15 years it will be the Singapore of Africa.
And what's your view now of the future, the short-term future, the next 10 years between Australia and Africa?
Africa is well endowed in resources, a lot to offer for the future. But it is for the projectors of foreign policies, such as of the government of Australia, to look much ahead. That is to say, beyond the region of Asia, for example, on which they are concentrating. And Africa has got this advantage that, slow but stable, well endowed in resources. So I would say to them that, they should diversify their investment in international relations, in interacting. In this particular case, I'll say they have to have a more cooperative relationship with Africa, because Africa has got more to offer.
So You really have received the highest honor you could receive in your country. You've been head of the, I think you've worked in the president's office. You've held all the highest posts in your country. What is your future now that are you leaving the diplomatic service or just simply leaving Australia?
I'm leaving Australia physically, but my heart has been invested here for the past 12 years. I have developed roots not only with people like yourselves, organizationally working for Africa-Australia relations. I have relations with neighbors, friends around who are engaged. If I may give you an example of one of my neighbors who are engaged in helping children, not only in ACT, but also in Botswana, for example. We are raising funds, and I'll continue to be involved in that. Although I'm leaving the public service of Botswana and the diplomatic service, it is now my time to contribute directly to the communities, not only in Botswana, but in Australia, because I've made so much connections.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency, and I hope to see you very soon, if not in Sydney, in Mauritius, which is a bit closer to your place.
C'est gentil, monsieur. Thank you very much.
Et à bientôt, à très bientôt.
À bientôt.
Merci.